Okay, I get the.
Now, back to our show.
Hey,
So Charlie,
yes,
you're married now.
I
Oh,
was.
you were.
I was
You're
married.
unmarried now. Excuse me, Charlie.
Yes.
You're unmarried now.
Yes, I was.
I hand wrote my notes for today, so this might be interesting.
But that's okay.
You're unmarried now. I'm gonna go right into put you on the spot. Why?
Why did I get married?
No, why are you unmarried now?
Oh well, you know somebody for years, and you get married. It's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
There's situations that come up. All in life, wrenches are thrown into the work, and either one of us changed, and it was a friendly separation. Though
Right.
It was like
That I know.
nobody wanted to be unhappy, so. We do have a child, and we were both there for her life. So, that was it was good. Thank God it worked out that way. There's some horrendous, hideous breakups that I've heard, but I think we're still, we still love each other. It's totally different now, but
Right.
you're
still friendly.
We're
and
still
you're
very
friends.
friendly.
Are you almost best friends now?
I would say that's what we started with. We grew up in the neighborhood together,
Got it.
and that's when I saw her and completely fell in love with her. But it wasn't until 10 years after that we actually got together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you really were friends first.
Yeah, we were best friends.
So that
The
abrupt
crowd.
intro, how I like to do things. I like to just fall into
Yeah.
things where you're like, where are we going?
Yeah.
That leads us to the next part of our show until about 6:27, where we're going to talk about marriage.
Yeah.
My next question is marriage necessary? What do you think?
Well, it depends on the individuals.
Okay.
If they're going to be bothered by that little commitment, that piece of paper or whatever,
Right.
then I say, go the way of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Right.
They've been together for years,
Yeah.
and they haven't been married. And,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's it's a mutual respect for your counterpart there.
Right,
It's
right.
it's also a big part of love is cohabitation. If you could live with somebody without killing them.
Right.
And I think that's very important, along with that. Yeah. And that's illegal in this state. I don't know about Texas, but anyway, it's very important to know that person. Just don't do this stuff on a whim, because there's things in life that come at you, and you got to be ready for them together.
So cohabitation, that's actually something I talk about and think about all the time. You said, something about you must live together, or, living together is a big part of relationships. Now, do you think that it's necessary to cohabitate to have a committed relationship?
Of course, you can't. You can't. He's killing me. You can't not have a relationship without cohabitation, because
Really?
the first couple of months, the first year is a blast, but then things start getting to you, like little things, like the way they leave something in the bathroom, or the way they leave their clothes.
Wait. You said you can't have a relationship without cohabitation, even though it seems like it's troublesome?
No, you can't. You have to have. You have to put that all aside, all that cohabitation. That I'm talking about the habits.
Right.
Sometimes you're with somebody so long, and your habits start
I'm saying,
annoying
do you
you.
have to live with them? Do you have to cohabitate? Do you have a relationship? That's the question.
Oh no, you can have two separate
You
houses.
can. Okay.
Yeah, if you can't deal with the cohabitation,
Gotcha.
you could have two separate houses. I have friends who have that.
I love that.
Yeah, I think it's a
my mom
brilliant
does
idea.
that for years, yeah.
Somebody gets on your nerves. All right, honey, I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me, if I wake up every day and I see you brushing your teeth or flossing your teeth, and the specks go into the mirror, and I'm all pro flossing, you know that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you every single day for the
Yeah.
rest of my life. And two psychics said I'm supposed to live till 96, so I got 60 years watching you floss your teeth every morning, or watching you not floss your teeth, and now I know your breath stinks. So either way, it's a lose-lose for me. I don't want to live with you. As Whoopi Goldberg would say, I don't want anyone in my house. I think she said, I don't want anyone in my house.
Yeah, it's also. Also, it's like, I think personally, it's the best thing because, that will save a lot of marriages.
Yeah, I think a lot of marriages or just long-term relationships would have lasted maybe 10 or 20 years longer if they didn't have to live together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I worked earlier today, so I can make money and I don't have to live with someone
Yeah,
because
exactly.
at home, which a lot of people do.
Exactly. And there's questions you have to ask yourself if you're thinking of getting married. There's several questions.
Like what?
You have to think of when the kids come, if you want kids, and when they do come. Big responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a crazy life. It's the minute that first kid pops out, your worrying starts.
Right.
And it doesn't stop because then that kid has grandkids. So so that's about it. My sister actually has 3 children, 3 very good children.
Okay.
And there is about 12 grandchildren running around.
Oh, I've
and
seen
now,
pictures.
Now she has a great marriage. She was married she's still married, 58 years. Her husband is amazing. A great provider. Just did everything he could for the family. Wow. She is a great wife. He is a great husband, great father and mother, and it carried over into the children.
Nice.
And that's very, very lucky in this world that happens. And the children are instilled with all those respectable qualities that were back in the day that our mother and father instilled in us. And that's very rare these days. So you gotta start asking yourself before you get married, am I doing this on a whim?
Right.
Or,
I would say have them psychologically analyzed by several people, and I also say don't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to move on totally different gears here.
Yeah.
So I actually had a meeting with the creator of the Beyond app for modern dating. So there's like Hinge, there's Bumble, there's Tinder. There's also a new app called Beyond, which is for beyond your typical monogamy. So they ask certain questions so you can be listed under different categories as a dater on the app. I'm not on the app. Maybe I'll join it. We'll see. And I guess you can have polyamorous or open relationships or all different types of relationships other than the typical ones that eHarmony shows. So I had a meeting with the creator and I said, well, I'm not looking to meet anyone at all.
Right.
We can get to that. This show is not about me.
Right.
But, perhaps if I would, they have a screening process. So it's kind of like a boutique app. So my question, long-winded, there's a modern dating app for the polyamorous population and the open relationships. What do you think about open relationships and polyamory? It's just very trendy right now.
If it's not a serious thing, a relationship, I think that's fine. I think that was the way of the world forever. It's good if you like, but when you meet that special someone, just the idea that she's going out with somebody else, not a lot of people can handle that.
True. And maybe they can't handle it because there's such thing as soulmate, or maybe they can't handle it because relationships are just socially supported, marketed forms of codependency. And people can't hijack and override their own hormones, which makes them want to possess someone else, because that's what relationships are. It's a form of possession. I'm yours, you're mine.
Yeah, but that's the wrong way to look at it. The right way to look at it is...
that's my girlfriend.
No, yeah, you're right.
Possessive.
You're
There's
right.
A lot of possessive
It's very possessive. But if it's a real relationship, it's like you just have this mutual respect for one another, and you don't even think about going anywhere else or wanting to go anywhere else. And that's very rare because a lot of people just can't stay in one place.
Yeah.
I know I can't. I don't know if I could have somebody in my world now because I just love being alone. I love,
Me too.
I love getting. But if I had somebody like say, "Hey Jen, let's get together."
Right.
All right.
For an hour.
Keep your house.
Yeah.
Keep your house. And then we come over, we have a great time, and then
Right.
all right, Jen, I need to go to bed, or I need to
Yeah.
do something on the computer. You need to create something.
Right.
Yeah. Take it easy. I'll see you
I
tomorrow.
need to write questions for Charlie Saladino. So that sorry, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, this polyamory thing is very interesting. What year is it? 2023. Okay. I had to think about that for a second. So let's say I live until 2053, 30 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction here. I think we're going to see, definitely monogamy is going to keep happening because I think people, for so many reasons, just chemically, it's rewarded. The system is rewarded. It's for so many ways, so it's going to keep happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to see a lot of branching off. And again, I'm not pushing for this. I'm not pro or against any of these new relationships.
We're just reporting.
I think we're going to see less possessive forms of relationships crop up in the next 50 years. That's my prediction.
Well,
yeah, I think we're going to see people loving each other. I hope we have more of a tribal community, not sexually. I don't mean that at all sexually. But we have more people working together, so it's not just like, oh, that's my mom, that's my dad, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, that's it. I'm not helping my neighbor. I would love to see people growing farms or exchanging fruits and vegetables in their backyards and having a more open, cohesive way of working together. And I think that the relationship structures are going to change in every aspect.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, but that we'll see. That's in the future.
yeah, it's like I was watching something on Channel 4, and it was an interview with Jada Pinkett,
Right.
and they haven't been together since 2016. But
Oh,
yeah,
Will and Jada?
yeah, Will and Jada, yeah, they've been living separately, but
What?
yet with the family. And she was asked, "Why don't you get a divorce?" And she says,
Oh.
"Well, we have a family, and there's the love there."
Right.
And stuff like that, and they do have this love for each other, but yet they're not living, and maybe that's what makes the love better.
Hey, fish and company stink after 3 days.
You
I
Good.
get it. I think
Yeah,
you
there's-
stink after 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours is 2 hours is a nice sweet spot.
there's an analogy for you. I love it. So,
Yeah.
but-
So I guess we're gonna elaborate on that one. How much do you value time together versus the time apart? How much time would you say you would want? Let's say you were with someone you thought was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfectly imperfect, perfect for you.
Yeah.
No one else. I only have eyes for you. How much time each week would you want to spend with them? And put it in hours. How many hours?
I
per
think
week?
it's not a matter of you want to spend with them. I think it's a matter of you just spending it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, you don't put it out like, today I'll spend,
Right.
or how much do I want to spend? No, you put on the TV, it's a nice night, you both get a cup of coffee, tea, a little wine, and you hang out, you cuddle, you watch TV. That's not, I want, okay, this program's over, get out.
Right.
It's like stuff you want to do together.
Okay.
Stuff
So
you want-
basically, take it as it comes. You can't plan the relationships too much.
Yeah, that's the whole
Okay.
thing. If you plan it, then it's an organized thing, and
Yeah.
it's like you do what you like. You don't want a job where you don't like what you do.
Right.
So you don't want a partner that you want it's work going to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
Definitely
stuff
not.
like that. And of course, we don't go out for that.
Right.
But sometimes you get some situations where, I want to do this, I want to see this, I want to see that, and the other person, I just wanted to watch a movie tonight,
Mm-hmm.
And that's that line you got to watch. You got to want to do things together.
Interesting. So what's funny? I used to say, I'll see a guy for 2 hours a week. I'll give him 2 hours a week, and
Yeah.
I think I kind of did that for maybe it was 6.
Yeah.
So then I kept that, and then I tried, let's just put no limits and let's try a marriage type situation. I gotta say, for me, I seem happiest when I don't count every hour, but there's a general all right, I'll spare one whole day, or maybe the equivalent of 4 to 8 hours a week. But after that, I start feeling like, oh, I'm not doing all these other things that are important to me. I'm just spending with one person. And what if this person moves or they die? So for me, I would have to say right now, I probably would be happiest with like 2 to 10 hours a week of someone, a significant other's company,
Right.
which is pretty strange.
So what if you're planning that 2 hours for the day and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're having a blast?
Then yeah, but you can't let that happen like 4 days in a row, because I've done that too. And now it's like, all right, 5 out of 7 days of the week I had the best time, but did I make any money? Did I write my book? Did I do any interviews for Mark on the radio show? Did I make a movie? I did nothing. And then I look at myself a year later, it's like, wow, I had fun, which is the trade-off, you know, having connection, and it's really precious. But I've also looked back at years of my life, and it's like, what did I do?
But I think certain guys, certain intelligent guys appreciate women like you because you have a brain, you have talent and stuff like that.
Thank you.
And it's like you want somebody. I know I want somebody who's intelligent and has their own deal.
Right.
I don't want somebody who lives for me.
Right.
I want us both to have our interest and stuff like that and be intelligent. I was going out with somebody who just, you know, was like giving up, and I couldn't deal with that, and you know, so that went bye-bye, and I need somebody who is an equivalent as far as, you know, all that
Speaking
stuff.
of who you need, that's going to be the last question. I was talking to my friend James earlier, and I said, why did you marry this girl? What were the reasons? 2 weeks ago, he got married. Shout out to James. And he said, one of the things he said was he had sort of like a checklist, things that he kind of, you know, was looking for, he knew he had in his head. Now, when you were younger, before you were married, did you have a checklist of sorts? And I guess in 30 seconds, what was on your checklist?
Yeah. Who had a checklist back in the 70s? It was like, wow, I'm amazing, I'm here, you know,
really?
And stuff like that. But with my wife, it was more or less no questions.
Okay.
It was, I loved her like you wouldn't believe. I loved her when I first saw her, and I was amazed that I was with this girl.
Right.
So there was no checklist. There was just no questions.
Kind of fell into it.
Whatever comes. We'll handle it together.
And you're still fast friends?
Oh, we're best friends, yeah.
So I guess we have to close out the show.
Okay. So why don't you do that, Jen?
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check us out next week on WGBB, 6 p.m. to about 6:30. And make sure to go to our website, www.itcamefromtheradio.com. And final thoughts, Charlie?
Yeah, I just want to, and this is my personal thing, no radio station, not our show, but my personal thing is oh my God, my sympathy, my love, everything goes out to people on both sides that were hurt and injured, the innocent people because of these madmen that lost their lives, or the hostages. So my heart goes out to you, and let's all give peace a chance, really.
Give peas a chance.
Yeah.
And if you don't like peas, have carrots.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Just to making sure you have a healthy vegetable.
And on that note, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Take it easy.
You've been listening to It Came From the Radio with Mark Torres. The views